Welcome, Class 11 students, to an exciting journey into the world of organic chemistry. Today, we are diving deep into the aldehydes and ketones chapter, focusing specifically on their oxidation reactions. We'll start with the basics, then move through medium, hard, and finally, the most challenging concepts, preparing you thoroughly for G Advanced. Let's unlock the secrets of how these compounds transform. Ready to discover how aldehydes and ketones behave differently when faced with oxidizing agents? Let's start with the fundamental distinctions. Oxidation in organic chemistry often means adding oxygen or removing hydrogen. For aldehydes and ketones, it's about transforming them, typically into carboxylic acids. Imagine adding an extra oxygen atom right into their structure. Aldehydes, with their hydrogen atom directly attached to the carbonyl carbon, are quite eager to react. They readily accept that extra oxygen, converting smoothly into carboxylic acids with the same number of carbons. This can happen even with very gentle oxidizing agents. For example, ethanol, a simple aldehyde, easily becomes ethanoic acid. Ketones, however, are a different story. Their carbonyl carbon is nestled between two other carbon atoms, lacking that crucial hydrogen. This makes them much more resistant to oxidation under mild conditions. They prefer to stay as they are, unless we use really harsh conditions, which often leads to their carbon skeleton breaking apart. This difference in reactivity is super useful for distinguishing between aldehydes and ketones. Think of it as a chemical fingerprint test. The Tollens test, also known as the silver mirror test, is a classic example. When an aldehyde meets Tollens reagent, a special solution of silver ions, it gets oxidized, and the silver ions get reduced, forming a beautiful silver mirror on the test tube. Ketones? They just sit there, no reaction, no mirror. Similarly, Fehling's test uses copper ions. Aldehydes react with Fehling's solution to produce a distinct reddish-brown precipitate of cuprous oxide. Again, ketones remain unreactive. These tests aren't just for identification, they're fundamental to understanding how these functional groups behave differently due to their structural variations. Now it's time to test your understanding of these basic oxidation concepts. Take a moment to read and answer these 3 practice questions. Remember the key differences between aldehydes and ketones in their reactivity towards mild oxidizing agents. Good luck! Let's deepen our understanding of oxidation. We'll explore specific reagents and the intriguing Popoff's rule for ketones. Let's dive into the specifics of these mild oxidizing agents. Tollens reagent, an ammoniacal solution of silver nitrate, is a true aldehyde specialist. It selectively oxidizes aldehydes, leaving other functional groups untouched, and in return, you get that characteristic silver mirror. Fehling's solution, a combination of copper sulfate and alkaline sodium potassium tartrate, also targets aldehydes, producing a distinctive red precipitate of cuprous oxide. Benedict's solution is quite similar to Fehling's, using sodium citrate instead of tartrate, and serves the same purpose. These reagents are not just lab curiosities, they are vital in biochemistry for detecting reducing sugars, which inherently poses aldehyde groups. Beyond mild oxidizers, we have the strong ones, potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. These powerful agents, whether in acidic or alkaline conditions, will oxidize both aldehydes and ketones. While aldehydes smoothly convert to carboxylic acids, ketones undergo a more drastic transformation, often resulting in the cleavage of their carbon-carbon bonds. When it comes to the vigorous oxidation of unsymmetrical ketones, there's a fascinating principle known as Popoff's rule. This rule helps us predict where the carbon-carbon bond cleavage will occur. Essentially, the cleavage tends to happen in such a way that the carbonyl group stays with the smaller alkyl group. Imagine a ketone like butane 2-1. According to Popoff's rule, the bond between the carbonyl carbon and the ethyl group, which is larger than the methyl group, is more likely to break. This leads to the formation of ethanoic acid and methanoic acid. However, it's important to remember that under very harsh conditions, a mixture of products can often be obtained. This rule is a simplification, but it provides a good starting point for predicting the major products. Understanding this rule helps in planning synthetic routes where specific shorter-chain carboxylic acids are desired from larger ketone precursors. The ability to selectively oxidize aldehydes while leaving ketones untouched is a cornerstone of organic synthesis. This distinction allows chemists to design complex reaction sequences where specific parts of a molecule are modified without affecting others. For instance, if you have a molecule with both an aldehyde and a ketone, you can use Tollens or Fehling's reagent to convert only the aldehyde to a carboxylic acid. This level of control is invaluable in constructing complex organic molecules, such as pharmaceuticals or natural products. Conversely, the C-to-C bond cleavage in ketones, although less selective, can be strategically employed when the goal is to break down a larger molecule into smaller carboxylic acid fragments. This might be useful in degradation studies or to synthesize specific shorter-chain acids, even if it sometimes results in a mixture of products. Now that we've covered the specifics of mild and strong oxidizing agents, including Popoff's rule, it's time to apply this knowledge. Here are 5 practice questions for you to tackle. Pay close attention to the reagents and the structure of the reactants. Think about whether C-to-C bond cleavage will occur. Good luck with these problems. Ready to delve deeper? Let's uncover the intricate mechanisms and specialized oxidation reactions that challenge even the sharpest minds. Let's peel back the layers and understand the actual step-by-step processes behind these reactions. In the Tollens test, the aldehyde doesn't just spontaneously oxidize. First, it forms a hydrate in the aqueous solution. This hydrate then becomes the substrate for the silver diamine complex. A hydroxide ion abstracts a proton, and the resulting intermediate facilitates the transfer of a hydride from the carbon to the silver ion, reducing Ag+ to Ag metal, and oxidizing the aldehyde to a carboxylate. Similarly, in Fehling's test, the aldehyde forms an enediol intermediate under alkaline conditions. This enediol is highly susceptible to oxidation by the Cu2+ ions, leading to the formation of a carboxylate and the characteristic red precipitate of cuprous oxide. Beyond these classic tests, we have the fascinating Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. Here, ketones are transformed into esters and aldehydes into carboxylic acids, using peroxy acids like MCPBA. This reaction involves the insertion of an oxygen atom into the carbon-carbon bond, with a crucial aspect being the migratory aptitude of the groups, dictating which group moves to the oxygen. And for those specific cases, where you need to oxidize a carbon adjacent to a double bond or a carbonyl, selenium dioxide, or SiO2, steps in. It's a highly selective reagent for allylic and benzylic oxidations, allowing for precise functionalization. To help you navigate the complex world of oxidation, let's look at a comparative overview of the reagents we've discussed. We have the mild oxidizers like Tollens, Fehling's, and Benedict's, which are highly selective for aldehydes and are perfect for distinguishing them from ketones. Then come the strong oxidizers, such as hot concentrated potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate, which are potent enough to oxidize both aldehydes and ketones, though they typically lead to C-to-C bond cleavage in ketones, yielding mixtures of carboxylic acids. And finally, we have the specialized reagents, like peroxy acids for the Baeyer-Villiger oxidation, which transform ketones into esters, and selenium dioxide for allylic benzylic oxidations, which introduce a carbonyl or hydroxyl group at specific positions. Each reagent has its unique role, selectivity, and applications, making them indispensable tools in a chemist's arsenal. Understanding their nuances is key to mastering organic synthesis. The outcome of an oxidation reaction isn't just about the reagent, it's also heavily influenced by structural and environmental factors. Steric hindrance, the physical bulkiness of groups around the carbonyl, can significantly impede the approach of an oxidizing agent, slowing down or even preventing a reaction. Imagine trying to fit a large key into a small lock, it just won't work. Electronic effects also play a crucial role. Electron donating groups can make the carbonyl carbon more nucleophilic, potentially increasing its susceptibility to attack by electrophilic oxidants, as seen in some Baeyer-Villiger reactions. Conversely, electron withdrawing groups can deactivate the carbonyl. Finally, reaction conditions, such as temperature, the pH of the solution, the choice of solvent, and even the concentration of the oxidizing agent, are paramount. A slight change in any of these parameters can drastically alter the reaction pathway, the product yield, and its selectivity. Mastering these interconnected factors is essential for predicting and controlling organic reactions, moving beyond rote memorization to true chemical intuition. You've now explored deeper into oxidation mechanisms, specialized reagents like Baeyer-Villiger and SiO2, and the factors influencing these reactions. It's time to test your analytical skills with these 7 challenging practice questions. Think critically about the mechanisms and selectivities involved. Good luck! Prepare for the ultimate challenge. We are now venturing into the most advanced aspects of aldehyde and ketone oxidation, crucial for competitive exams and a true understanding of chemical synthesis. Let's unravel the intricate details of the Baeyer-Villiger oxidation mechanism. It begins with the peroxy acid, a strong electrophile, attacking the nucleophilic carbonyl carbon. This forms a tetrahedral intermediate, often called the Crigi intermediate. The critical step is then a rearrangement. One of the groups attached to the carbonyl carbon migrates to the terminal oxygen of the peroxy acid, while the carboxylate anion is simultaneously expelled as a leaving group. This migratory aptitude is not random, it follows a specific order. Hydrogen migrates most readily, followed by tertiary alkyl, then secondary alkyl, phenyl, primary alkyl, and finally, methyl. This order is governed by the ability of the migrating group to stabilize the developing positive charge in the transition state. What's fascinating is that if the migrating group is chiral, its stereochemical configuration is typically retained, making this a powerful tool in stereoselective synthesis. Understanding this detailed mechanism is paramount for predicting the products of unsymmetrical ketones and for designing complex synthetic routes. Beyond mild and Baeyer-Villiger, let's examine how ketones succumb to vigorous oxidation, leading to C-to-C bond cleavage. This process typically proceeds via the enol form of the ketone, which is much more reactive towards oxidation. In acid-catalyzed conditions, the carbonyl oxygen is protonated, and then an alpha hydrogen is abstracted, forming the enol. This enol's double bond is electron-rich and becomes susceptible to attack by strong oxidizers, leading to cleavage. Under base-catalyzed conditions, a strong base directly abstracts an alpha hydrogen, forming an enolate, which is also highly reactive. These pathways often involve radical intermediates or direct electrophilic attack on the enol-enolate. Popoff's rule, which we discussed earlier, is a consequence of these enol-enolate-mediated oxidative pathways, where the cleavage preferentially occurs to yield more stable intermediates. Furthermore, for specific structural analysis, periodic acid, HiO4, is a gem. It selectively cleaves C-to-C bonds in alpha-hydroxy aldehydes, ketones, and 1,2-diols, forming a cyclic intermediate that then breaks apart, producing new carbonyl compounds. This is incredibly useful for determining the structure of complex molecules by breaking them down into identifiable fragments. The products of aldehyde and ketone oxidation, primarily carboxylic acids and lactones, are far from academic curiosities, they are foundational to countless industrial processes. Carboxylic acids, for example, are essential building blocks for polymers like polyesters and polyamides. Think of nylon, which relies on adipic acid, often synthesized from cyclohexanone oxidation. They're also crucial in pharmaceuticals, food additives, and as solvents. lactones, the cyclic esters formed via Baeyer-Villiger oxidation, are prized in the fragrance industry for their sweet, fruity notes and are increasingly used in biodegradable plastics and drug delivery systems. However, traditional oxidation methods, often relying on stoichiometric amounts of heavy metal reagents like chromium or manganese, pose significant environmental challenges due to the generation of toxic waste. This has spurred a major push towards green chemistry alternatives. Researchers and industries are actively developing catalytic oxidations using benign oxidants like molecular oxygen or hydrogen peroxide, often employing transition metal catalysts like cobalt, iron, or titanium. These methods aim to maximize atom economy, minimize waste, and reduce the environmental footprint. Biocatalysis, utilizing enzymes, also offers a highly selective and environmentally friendly route for specific oxidation reactions, further enhancing the sustainability of chemical synthesis. In the realm of complex organic synthesis, particularly in the creation of natural products or intricate pharmaceutical molecules, the ability to perform highly selective oxidations is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Imagine a molecule with multiple oxidizable functional groups. Using a strong, indiscriminate oxidant would destroy the entire structure. This is where reagents like selenium dioxide, MCPBA, and periodic acid shine. They allow chemists to target specific sites, transforming one functional group while leaving others untouched. For instance, you might want to introduce a carbonyl group at an allylic position without affecting an existing aldehyde. SeO2 would be your choice. Or perhaps you need to convert a ketone into an ester while preserving an alkene elsewhere in the molecule. MCPBA via Baeyer-Villiger is the answer. The choice of oxidizing agent is a strategic decision, deeply intertwined with the overall synthetic plan and the desired product. It requires a profound understanding of not just what each reagent does, but why it does it, considering its mechanism, selectivity, and compatibility with other functional groups present. This level of insight is what truly distinguishes an advanced organic chemist and is crucial for success in competitive exams like JEE Advanced. You've journeyed through the most challenging aspects of aldehyde and ketone oxidation. Now, it's time to consolidate your knowledge and apply it to these 5 advanced problems. These questions demand a deep understanding of mechanisms, migratory aptitudes, and selective reagents. Take your time, analyze each reaction, and predict the outcomes. Good luck! Let's continue to push your boundaries with the remaining 5 questions. These problems are designed to test your comprehensive understanding of oxidation reactions, including industrial applications, green chemistry principles, and the nuances of complex molecule synthesis. Think critically, connect the concepts, and strive for precision in your answers. This is where you truly solidify your JEE Advanced preparation. All the best! And that brings us to the end of our in-depth exploration into the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones. From basic distinctions to complex mechanisms and industrial applications, we've covered a vast and challenging landscape. Remember, mastering these concepts is not just about memorizing reactions, but truly understanding the why and how behind them. For more such comprehensive and engaging content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and new lessons that will empower your JEE Advanced preparation. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep excelling. See you in the next session.